Good morning, this is Mission Alive and I'm Greg McCann. This is the third part of a series I'm talking to you about the MSCs in China. We talked about the fact that they were called the Essendon Fathers. The main places involved were Shenzhen in central southwest China. We talked about the fact that where they stayed in China was possibly one of the most mountainous areas of China, and Shenzhen is not a very big place at all. We talked about the early missionaries arriving, Father Wesselman and Father Baumeiser and Father Jehabauer, and how Father Jehabauer drowned only after 5 months of that incredible journey to get there. We talked about Father Winkelmann, who was shot and killed trying to protect the missionaries from the bandits, and how Father Baumeiser was captured by the bandits and held for ransom, but the dear faithful local constabulary, or the authorities if you like, not that there was much authority in those days, actually saved him from paying a $200 ransom. What I want to share with you now is taken from the MSC archives we have here at Kensington. The information that I'm giving you comes from my own knowledge after talking to the local people, and also from 2 articles written by Brother Barney Delaney, MSC, and published in the Australian Province newsletter in around 1993. At this stage, I would also like to thank Father Hans Lamars, MSC, from the MSC North German Province, who was able to put many names to faces, as we'll see in the coming slides. Barney Delaney did a wonderful job writing all this up, and it is available here at the MSC archives if anybody wants to follow it up. But pretty well everything that I've got to say about it is written up here. There's also another article that was written by one of our priests, and I'll come to that later on. So please bear with me now as we continue our story of the MSC North German missionaries, who were absolutely amazing people. I don't know how they did it. It's got me beat. Anyway, here it is. The story really begins with the Long March, actually. I don't know if you've heard of the Long March, but from 1930 and to 1934, they had a fair bit of peace there at Shenzhen. They began to get themselves established by around about 1928. 1929, and then 1930. So they were starting to get some kind of base started. In 1932, Shenzhen was made what they call a missio juris, the first step in becoming a diocese, with Father Baumeiser as superior. By the middle of 1933, the whole of Guizhou province was in a state of turmoil. China was in the grip of a civil war between the Communist Red Army and the Nationalist Army of Chiang Kai-shek. Father Kellner, of whom you're going to hear a little bit more about soon, in a letter to his family, wrote from Shenzhen that the Communist Red Army were within 3 days' march of his station, and he placed his trust in God's protecting hand. So, on October the 1st of that year, the alarm was given while Father Frank and Father Rushcroft were saying Mass. Immediately after Mass, they left in a desperate hurry with the Reds at their heels. They began a game of hide and seek down narrow lanes, trying to get away from the communist authorities. But their hearts sank when they suddenly found themselves confronted by a wall which surrounded the city. Most of the cities in China in those days had walls around them. One of the priests grabbed a long bamboo pole and, using it as a primitive ladder, they managed to scramble over the wall. It took 19 days for them to get to Guiyang, the capital, and the safety of the Paris Missionary Society priests. And they stayed there until the scare died down. Okay, that's a story I've got from one of the articles from Brother Delaney. Now, a couple of photos there. There's Mao Zedong sitting on the horse and started the Long March. These are some of the people on the Long March. The Long March is an absolutely important and part of an integral part of Chinese history today, and it's one that really needs to be told a little bit in a little bit more detail. We'll do that next time.